the sun. To dream, believe in strength, now I'm the only one. Only one. I was an ordinary boy until I broke the rules, my life destroyed. Life destroyed. Until I walk awake, scream my mind, I shout, the ground shakes. How much can I take? My mind will break.
You've just stepped into the undercurrent, where silence speaks, and the dead have stories, where trials twist, lies tangle, and justice waits in the dark. This is 12 Gauge, and not just reporting relentless pursuit.
All right. Happy Friday night to you all. My name is 12 Gauge. Welcome to my channel, 12 Gauge Investigative. If this is your first time here, thank you so much for being here. And if you're a returning person, I hope that you continue to enjoy the channel and the presentation that I put out. You know, we've almost gone full circle as I'm back to an empty chat, no watchers. It's quite humbling, but I enjoy the challenge. Well, tonight, I want to talk about some of the stuff that people have been bringing about regarding the Bryan Kohberger situation, about the body cams. I mean, not the body cam, but the cameras that have been played over and over, I'm sure, by this point, because I'm always late to the party. Like I said, I got tons of other stuff to do. So, you know, I'm always late to the party. By the time I get a hold of this stuff, it's already been played a freaking 100 times. But I'm going to do it anyways because I like to do it with my own style. Anyways, this is Crime Flicks with Anjanette Levy. And I chose to use hers instead of some other people's stuff that, you know, have been streaming it. I know that Gray Hughes was one of the ones who was first to break this, and I'm very thankful that Gray was kind enough to grace our true crime community with his ability to break these videos, because they show a lot. And I'm sure that most of us who have followed this case for a very long time have always wondered about these moments, you know, these moments where Bryan is actually walking into these stores. And, you know, this is going to show the one also with the Albertsons. And we have always wondered, what did Bryan buy in that Albertsons? We still don't really see exactly what he bought, but we can kind of tell that he's on a mission to buy something. because this is the Costco footage. So let's go ahead and start this a little bit, and I will stop it. As you can tell, he's walking in, and he has a thing of water with him already. So I'm not a frequent shopper of Costco. I go to Sam's a lot more, but I never bring in my own drink for whatever reason. I don't know if that's a thing with people. I kind of feel weird taking my own drink into a store, no matter where I'm at. Um, and when I first saw this, I thought, maybe she was stopping him because she was telling him, hey, you can't bring that drink in here. But, let's play a little bit of it.
Video at Costco just hours after he murdered 4 University of Idaho students. It's
See, because she makes a motion with her hands. Look at her hands.
just one of several new pieces of video that we're seeing. Brian Koberger on video at Costco just hours after he murdered 4
See how she's making her hands in a circular motion, and he's kind of looking outward. I'm wondering what she told him. Like there was tons of other people, and if she was actually the one that was that was actually doing the card checking, this is quite a ways in there to be checking for the card, because like I said, I don't know anything about how Costco works, but I know, let me back this
University of
up.
Idaho students. It's just Brian Koberger on
See, like he walks in right there. At Sam's, they always have the greeter like outside by the carts because they're the ones that are pulling the carts out, and they usually ask for your card before you walk in. Does anybody who shops at Costco know if this is the Costco attire for a worker there? I mean, she's dressed all in blue. She's dressed all in blue. Is that what they generally wear? PKC says she's in there 2-3 times a month. Can you confirm if that is the attire in which the Costco workers actually do wear? Because we don't really know that that's an employee or not. We've been told that there was a woman that would not let him into the Costco, but do we really know that she was an employee unless the police talk to her? So we're going to wait on PKC's answer as I play this. I'm just concerned that all of this is going on all at once, because we can make this any way we want. Look at this again. As he walks in, he didn't ask for these people's ID, Costco ID or whatever. And some other people walked by him, I think. Let's see.
on video at Costco just hours after he murdered 4 University of Idaho students. It's
See, there's a lady right there, and she's not asking her for her Costco card. Okay, thank you, PKC. I'll put that up on here. It says, this looks usual. The only thing that differs from customers is a name tag. Okay. I was wondering about that. Okay, so that's okay. We have one, but I've always went to Sam's Club. I don't even go there anymore much. I need to go check Costco out now. We just got a new Costco, but I'm also a Sam's Club person as well. So as he's holding the water there, she's talking to him. And then obviously,
just one of several new pieces of video that we're seeing from the Moscow Police Department. I'll go through them and tell you what they show.
see, this is the person with the bag.
Welcome to Crime Fix. I'm Anjanette Levy. Brian Koberger, of course, is just 2 months into his time at Idaho's maximum security institution, where he's serving 4 consecutive life sentences. He's admitted to murdering Maddie Mogen, Kaylee Gonsalves, Xana Kernodle, and Ethan Chapin at the house on King Road on November 13th, 2022. That date changed Moscow forever, and it shattered the lives of 4 families, Maddie's, Kaylee's, Xana's, and Ethan's. Those 4 young people died for absolutely no reason at all. As Moscow police investigated and identified Brian Koberger as a suspect, they traced his movements that day as best they could, and they found a lot of videos of him and, of course, photos. I've already shown you the countless selfies, but the one from that day, the infamous thumbs up in the bathroom mirror selfie, is just creepy.
And that's interesting that now that we see these videos, it is definitely that same shirt that he's wearing. That is so interesting that you can't say that this was from another day, because unless he wore the same shirt every day or another day, that camera has a timestamp on it.
Knowing what we know now, it's frightening. Brian Koberger's hands are red, likely from scrubbing them, and he has a Band-Aid on one finger. Later that morning, it was 12:34 p.m. on November 13th, 2022, when Brian Koberger, wearing the same clothes he wore in the thumbs up bathroom selfie, walked into Costco in Clarkston, Washington, with a bottled drink in his hand. He met a clerk.
Is his pocket out? Like just the inner part of his pocket is it hanging out? These pants look too big for Brian. He looks like a misformed individual. And I'm not making fun of him. I'm just saying that these pants, when he's walking in them, they look too damn big for him. And right here, he's putting his hand in his pocket. Is he trying to hide it? Is there wounds on that on that hand? A lot of people have said that this could be a reason in the way that he walks into the place.
Who was standing at the door, because at Costco, you of course have to show your membership to get in. You can't shop there unless you're a member. We don't know exactly what he's saying to the woman or what he was hoping to shop for, but Brian Koberger was in the market for something that day. He is in the store for less than a minute because he can't shop there. He's not a member. He leaves.
See, this lady showed her card. She was quick to show the card. Let's watch it again.
Market for something that day. He is in the store for less than a minute because he can't shop there. He's not a member. He leaves. At 12:36 p.m., you can see Koberger's white Elantra pull out of the Costco lot. 10 minutes later, at 12:46 p.m., Koberger's white Elantra pulls into the Albertsons grocery store and it parks. 3 minutes later, at 12:49 p.m., if you look toward the top of your screen, you can see that Koberger is walking through the parking lot and toward the store from his car, which appears to be in the middle of the lot. He walks down the sidewalk for a short time and then into the store. Koberger enters the store.
And there he is. I think it's interesting how these cameras are so clear at some points. Like this camera right here, it caught him. Perfect. Perfect. He's much taller looking than I anticipated him being, because in the courtroom he looked tall, but I guess he had a little more weight on him here than he did in the court, because in the court he just looked lanky. Here he looked kind of, I don't know, he looked top heavy. Tell me what y'all think. I mean, I'm not critiquing Brian, but to me, this just stands out. The way he walks. He kind of walks slumped over. Yeah, he does walk weird. Let's watch this again.
He walks down the sidewalk for a short time and then into the store. Koberger enters the store and walks toward the aisles at 12:49 p.m. He's there looking.
See, he just walks different. I mean, he looks like an older man's body with a young man's head.
Looking for something. Koberger isn't in the store all that long because at 12:56, he goes to the self-checkout. And remember, by this time, he started paying for everything in cash, according to court documents. He's no longer using a debit.
So at this point, he's not wearing gloves like he was in Pennsylvania, right? Yes, he does, PKC. You're right. He does. I noticed that walk the first time I saw this camera of him walking in Albertsons. You know, I thought, man, he has a very distinctive walk. I would have never thought that he walked like that. I wonder if he runs in similar style, because then you could really tell, you know, that this was the person. I mean, if nothing else, if we would have gotten a trial, she could have asked her, She could have asked Dylan, "Hey, do you recognize his his gait? Do you recognize the way he walks? Do you recognize, you know, anything about him?" But you know, it's sad that we didn't get a trial. And he is definitely paying for something here. It's been speculated by many people that he bought a coffee. And I think Ann Jeanette's going to say that here in a minute because I heard her do the interview with Gray Hughes. And I think that they both agreed that he may have bought a coffee. I wonder if he was going in Costco to buy a coffee, though. I mean, they have a little area kind of like Sam's, I'm sure, where you can buy a coffee. I don't know. Hey, Jeremiah, long time. Jeremiah said he walks like he wears high heels. Very
Or
interesting.
credit card. Why? We don't know. No one has ever said why. Maybe he just didn't want to be tracked. After this, Brian Koberger's phone, it goes off the network again from 5:36 p.m. to 8:30 that night. His phone does not report to a cell tower in a similar way to the way it wasn't reporting to a tower at the time of the murders. We know at that time.
So right there is a good image of Brian. You know, there's no denying that this is him. If you don't believe that this is Brian Koberger, I don't know what to tell you. I guess you can believe as you wish. But to me, the shirt, the stature, you know, 6 foot tall, 185 pounds, not athletically built, but, you know, slim frame, you know, looks to me. And who knows if he wore these shoes to the murder scene?
That his phone.
They're obviously Nikes. And there's another shot of him. Once again, he has his hand in his pocket. I wonder if that hand has some, I wonder if his hand has some injuries. That's why he's keeping it in the pocket.
Was definitely off. So I want to bring in someone to discuss what we've been watching and what else you're going to see. He is Gray Hughes of the Gray Hughes Investigates YouTube channel. So Gray, you got a hold of these videos. I want to know your thoughts on, first of all, Brian Koberger. You know, what's so weird to me about these videos and what creeps me out and now has me wanting to like look over my shoulder.
About the time he's over at Albertsons,
See, let's watch his gait again.
it's like when
See, he walks with his feet out. Watch this. Let me see if I can back it up a little. Y'all watch his gait. So if you were watching this man leave your house, you would definitely identify this gait. Because look how he walks.
I think about the time he's over at Albertsons,
See, he walks with his feet out. His feet are going outward. It's just, I don't know. I'm weird like that. I guess from years of playing sports, football, you learn to watch how people walk, how they run, which way their feet are pointed. That's usually the direction that the ball is going.
it's like when the 911 call and people are showing up. So
Yeah.
it's sort of
See, I want to see that again because I've always wondered, and I've told people in another video that I believe that that footprint in the back of the yard, number 3, evidence number 3, that person walked heel to toe. Let me see if I'm wrong. I want to see that. I want to see if I'm wrong. If he walks toe to heel or heel to toe, because the heel area was a lot deeper than the toe area. So let's see how he walks.
Albertsons. It's like when the 911 call and people are showing up.
See, he's landing hard on the back of his heels. What
The
the?
time he's over at Albertsons, it's like when the 911 call and people are showing about the time he's over at Albertsons, it's like when the 911
Am I seeing things or am I wrong? Am I wrong? Y'all tell me, chat. Is he landing heel to toe or toe to heel? Because that boot print that was behind the couch, it was deeper. It was like this. It was heel and then it kind of rolled because the back of the heel was deeper than the front. Y'all let me know what you think about that. I'm okay with being wrong, but I think the gentleman does walk heel to toe.
And into, I think about the
No.
time he's over at Albertsons, it's like when the 911 call and people are showing up. So
Yeah.
it's sort of weird to just sort of envision back all the way back in Moscow, Idaho, that there's bodies that haven't.
You know, when you walk from heel to toe, that means you lean backwards a lot more. If you have a taller stature, you kind of you lean as you're taking off heel to toe. I mean, a lot of runners as well, athletes walk like that. And it's something that's ingrained with you as you're running because you're doing it for speed. But I could be wrong. Like I said, here we go.
Even been discovered yet, and he's out
Let's
there
watch
just
this.
like you said, sashaying around, just for buying coffee and looking.
I don't want to get copyrighted by Gray. Let's watch him walk right here. Okay. I know it doesn't mean anything, so I've always wondered though, because of that boot print. And I've always thought it'd be heavier in the back.
To me, I'm like, wow, it just shows an ability to either compartmentalize or just a coldness an iciness, I guess. I'm sure his defense attorneys don't like it when I would say something like this, but it's the truth. You have now admitted to hours earlier stabbing to death 4 college kids and taking off, and literally you're just walking around in your Nikes and your nice little dress shirt shopping. I am just horrified kind of by this, and it just kind of highlights that evil can walk among us.
I mean, at this point, it doesn't really matter if the defense attorneys are, they were just playing the game. I mean, hey, this is my first client I've ever had that I really believed in his innocence, they always say. But that's just garbage.
Yeah, but they're still they put out a statement saying, oh, we're still representing his rights. I mean, he still has rights and everything like that. I get that, but you know what I mean? Like, they don't want to talk publicly about this. I'm sure maybe one day they'll write a book or something. Maybe they've got some documentary going. I have no idea, but you know what I mean? Like, yes, I think that he was probably a very difficult client for them to deal with.
I actually have the feeling that they've been working on trying to get him to plead guilty for a long time, and they just kind of went through the motions and then finally had their last ditch efforts, and those all failed, and they said, if you want to save your own life, this is your time. And then they finally made the deal. I think there was
statement about where his vehicle was spotted, how they identified it as suspect vehicle 1. We now know that's the white Hyundai Elantra. So tell me and show us what you got.
All right. Well, here we go.
See, this is the most interesting part of the whole cameras, was these parts right here. I was looking for a camera from 712. I've asked Nina to get one. I've donated to you, Nina. You still are walking by that and you won't do a close-up. I don't get it. Am I going to have to go to Moscow myself to go by 712 and find out if I'm wrong? I will do it. But let's watch this camera. Let's see what PKC had to say. Could you imagine being that employee and watching this now? No idea at the time what he'd done hours before. Just hadn't hit the news yet, so they could have had no idea. You're right. That would have been terrible. That would have been terrible. But at least she didn't let him in the store.
So this video right here is on Indian Hills Drive. And this is when it first shows up on, in the probable cause document, for example. It's the first time it shows up. And it drives by, and then it passes 2 more houses right after that. And it's pretty amazing that they can see the vehicle in those other shots, and you'll see here in a second. This one's really simple, though. So it drives by. This is one that they use in the probable cause document at like, I think 326, drives by. And then right after this, you know, they don't have it edited up where it's like the next second later, the next shot. So I mean, I can scrub it forward and get to the next one. I think it's coming up right here. So
See, I hadn't seen this one. I hadn't seen these. I only saw the one he did earlier, so I hadn't seen these. This is that house that, okay, I got you. I know where he's at.
way up here in the upper left-hand corner, you'll see some lights moving around, and that's where that is.
Wow.
So I don't know if you can see up there. See how there's just a little bit of light movement up there?
Mm-hmm.
They were just slightly hitting the van just for a second. And there it is right there, the top of the van. They know that's the car because of the timing. And that house is right next door, 2 houses over from the first one.
That's a
And
clear.
then after this, it switches over to another camera.
That's a clear ass camera right there.
Now, this one's pretty interesting because in this
I
shot,
was getting excited because I was thinking, "Oh shit, this is the camera." There wasn't.
it's just another house over, way up in the top of the screen there. You'll see a light of right now. That's the vehicle coming into the screen. How it's lit up there. You'll see it, and it'll come in, and if you zoom in, which we won't do here, you can literally see the window on the Elantra. But it takes, they just give us a block of video, so I'm just showing you the whole thing. Right now we're at 320. There it is, right there. Boom. See it drove by.
Right.
So that's all they have.
The one thing I've always asked my audience, and I've always stated with people on my panel, is people always argued about, well, there could have been other cars driving around. How do they know that was the Elantra? How do they know that for certain this was his car? Well, as you see in these videos, there's not tons of other vehicles driving around his vehicle. So if you see this vehicle once, the process of elimination tells you, hey, you follow this car all around through there where the cameras are. It's called canvassing, by the way. It's going to tell you that this is the vehicle that you're looking for because it started over there on Linda Lane. Here we go.
But they know that's the car because it's all lined up in the same time frame. So then we'll just move on to the next one. This is at the A&W, right as it's coming up.
Okay, for those of you that don't know about the A&W, that's the one that heads toward Taylor. The road is Steiner, I believe. Steiner and whatever freaking road that is. I don't know. I think it's Steiner Avenue. That he makes a left that heads on to Taylor. And this is the A&W that has the cameras kind of like the corner of the buildings.
On to, I think it's Steiner Avenue, and making its way into the area.
Dang, I guess pretty good. I haven't seen this, I promise y'all.
And this is at, I think, 328. And then I don't know if you could even see it. It was pretty crazy. It's like right up in the upper right-hand corner, right there.
I
that?
see it.
Yeah, and that's the one that shows that it's absolutely missing a front license plate. Let me just play that right there. If you look right over here in the upper right-hand corner, if you zoom in on it, you can really see it's really obvious. It doesn't have a front plate on that shot.
Mhm.
But we're looking at the full surveillance footage here.
What's
Go ahead.
amazing to me was how quickly they were able to gather all of this after getting his name off of the DNA hit from the FBI.
Yeah, I think they work backwards too. So they see this white Elantra driving around at the house, and then they sort of go backwards and then canvass the areas and then move out. I mean, it's amazing they found the Indian Hills Drive camera footage, because that's like way far, like a mile and a half.
So all the times that we were told that these cameras, that the police were not gathering the cameras in time frame enough, they were almost recorded over, all this stuff. Well, due to these, it looks like they had the cameras early on. It seems like they did a very thorough job, very thorough in the beginning, and there was a lot of critique people with the MPD, the ISP, and the feds, but it looks like they did their job as they were supposed to. The front license plate is missing. You're going to see a clearer shot here in a minute.
Away on a kind of a random street. So let's go to the next one here. And this is Ridge Road. So this is right when it's coming into the area. So I'll show you where this is. So that A&W was right here. It just drove right through this intersection just then when we saw it with no front license plate. And that's significant because people in Pennsylvania don't have to have front license plate, and Kohberger's vehicle apparently didn't have one. And then the next shot we see, it's driving by right here. And we're getting right near the crime scene now because the crime scene is right over here. And he drives this direction, goes.
And this is a pretty clear video as well. All we had was a freaking screenshot of it. So people were tearing the hell out of that screenshot saying there's no way that vehicle has a license plate, blah, 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 all this. It's a green vehicle, blah, blah, blah. What you're going to see, it's a white vehicle. It's a white vehicle. Doesn't have a front license plate. So you say, what's the significance of that if they got the years wrong? What's the significance of that is, how many other white Elantras have been implicated in this crime? And if so, how many of them had a front license plate or did not? If his was the only one that didn't have a front license plate of all the Elantras they looked at, what does that tell you? The process of elimination. What does that tell you? Does it tell you that they got the wrong car date or that they got the wrong car? No, it tells you that his car did not have a front license plate at that time. During the murder, after the murder, he didn't have a front license plate. He didn't get the front license plate until he changed his license over to Washington. And then he got the license plates. And at that point, he did have two. Wow, that is something, Andy. I wish my sister had a camera on her house that night. I'm pretty sure I saw him drive by that evening. If you're being serious, that is wild.
On the Taylor Avenue and then goes into the area. So this building has two cameras, one facing this way and one on the north side here. And they're simultaneous to each other. So I'll just show each of them independently. So here is the first one. It's driving by. And then this camera actually picks up this pretty crazy shot here, but here it comes. And then you can see it through the woods as it goes around a curve to then get onto Taylor Avenue. And what that is right here. That's the curve. So that camera is probably shooting about like this. And it goes around that curve. And you can't see it, but it then ends up turning left there. And then this is a video that's already been out there in the public.
The Linda Lane.
1320 Linda Lane, and it drives by here.
So as you can see, at this time of night, there's not a lot of vehicles out there, man. For all the people to say, well, it could have been anybody's car at that time of night. It could have been anybody. Well, of course, it could have been. It should have been, but it wasn't. Look at this car cruise by on Taylor. And as Andy said, he just cruised by very slowly. Very slowly. This man is not hauling ass through these streets. He's cruising until 423 when he hauls ass out of there.
I'm going to move it forward because it doesn't come by for a while. Right around here. There it is. And there's the vehicle at 320.
Right there. And Jeff and I analyzed the hell out of this picture, this still shot, this video. If you've been a member or followed the channel for a long time, him and I used to do a lot on this white Elantra. we deep dove into this Elantra like nobody's business. He had camera footage. We'd zoom in. He overlaid it. He overlaid a vehicle that him and I kind of disagreed on. When he overlaid it, if you zoom in on this, and it's hard because the lights kind of, what's the word? Distort the image the closer you zoom in. So when you overlay an Elantra over this vehicle and you line it up with the lights and the lines on the side of it, it looks perfect. It's perfect. But there's a lot of people that don't want to see that for whatever reason. Whatever reason, they don't want to see that, you know? And you're right. I bet a lot of it was foot traffic because they're drinking at these houses and they're being responsible. They're drinking and walking, not drinking and driving. So, you know, well, thanks for that, Jeremiah, because we did spend a lot of time on that Elantra, a lot of time.
2948 driving by right there. And then after that, it goes into the complex, I call it, you know, the 1122 King Road where the camera is. It goes into there, and we're not showing that because that's not new. Now, this is new footage here. This is the Paradise Drive. So let's just play that again right here. And you can see the vehicle, and these are.
See right there. You can tell that's a damn white car. I don't care how bad your eyesight is. If you see green, you need some fucking glasses. I hate to say it like that, but you really do. Or you need to quit lying, because lying's not a good job. It's a bad look for you. Those are not wings on the side of the vehicle. That is a white Elantra right there. Why would so many people lie about it? What is, you know, there's not like 3 other vehicles behind it that you can mistake it for another brand of car. It's actually, you know, a white damn car. It really is.
Also simultaneous videos. So there's another video right after this that shows the exact same moment in time on the same house. So here it is right here. And you can see the motion.
There, as it goes through the little, see, I was excited right here. I thought, this is the damn 712 because
right here.
You know why? Because I saw the drainage thing right here and I was like, holy shit, hell yeah. I'm vindicated. It's not only to myself, but there's no way that that's it. It's actually another drainage, but check this out, y'all.
And you can see the motion.
Tell me that is not a white fucking car right there. That is a white car. That is a white car that seems to be going along the path that other similar car happened to be going. You know, so how in the hell can you mistake this for a green car? How could you mistake this for any other car than the perpetrators? How can you do that? I'm sure we could zoom in and we could say, look how bright the lights are and look how bright the lights are in front of his car. Obviously, you don't see the fin right there. No, I don't see a fin. I see a blurry ass picture is what I see. Of course you don't see a fin. You're not really lying, but you're lying by omission and you know it.
Sensors, the green boxes.
See, it's
and there
hard
he
to
is
tell,
driving
but,
by. And then where that is on here is.
but I'm sure professional people that know what they're doing with different software and things where they can actually slow this down and superimpose it and bring the lights out and everything else. I'm pretty sure that they could do stuff that I'm unable to do with just my mouth pausing as I'm doing it.
Just for people to understand what was happening. After the vehicle would be in the.
I really appreciate Gray doing the whole map overlay and stuff like that. It's badass. I mean, he does a good job regarding his visuals. I mean, I'm not a hater of Gray on this part. I mean, I don't watch him enough to really understand why people throw the hate his way, but they have their opinion. Let it be their opinion. But he does a really good job, just like Jeff does with this stuff. You know, I mean, I appreciate that there's people in this world that can do imagery like this where we can actually have a visual of what we're talking about.
Complex, it would leave, drive out, come back around in these back neighborhoods, and then come all the way on to Willanta Drive here. And then right here is where we're seeing that. It comes down and it takes a right and drives this direction. And it's this house right here that has that camera. So we just saw it go like this. Now, the next shots, you'll see the car comes down and does a U-turn. So it'll come down and do a U-turn up here. And it's really interesting because you can.
So this, if I'm a betting man, I would bet this is where the car was going the wrong way at the wrong time. If he made that U-turn right there, that's the freaking U-turn that we've all been looking for. I mean, that's another video. Jeff and I and Sarge stayed up probably 3 or 4 or 5 hours talking about the Elantra going the wrong way at the wrong time, because that was a big deal during that point. And he just said he believed that Elantra made a U-turn right there, and then he goes back up and turned around again. So that makes sense if he's talking about that particular point where he was going the wrong way. The car was going the wrong way at the wrong time. That makes total sense to me. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, the videos are in my library very early on. Go check out the Elantra ones. And I'm not saying that to self-promote. There are just plenty of Elantra videos in there. And we have a good time doing it. Jeff and Sarge got into kind of a debate a little bit, but it was interesting to hear their thoughts nonetheless.
See on top of the car, the reflection that tells them it does a U-turn. So look out for that.
There is a reflection.
So look out when, and look at the top of that pickup truck and watch the little light. See that light going up there?
Mm-hmm.
That's what's showing that it's doing a U-turn. And then it does it again at 348. You can actually see the car a little bit itself, and then it turns and goes up, and there's the light of the U-turn going back up.
Wow.
It's pretty interesting. I mean, it's cool that they were able to notice those little things like that. And then at 401, remember, after seeing the DoorDash driver, the vehicle drove didn't go into the complex because Kohberger saw that the DoorDash driver was there. He drove really slow right here. And then instead of going into the complex, he drove all the way around like this. And the only time that he did that, and then he passes the house right here. But first, this camera picks it up coming around the corner, and then it drives right in front. And it's just the absolutely perfect view of the Elantra. And that's how they were able to determine that it was a 2014 to 2000.
Crime Sleuthing and I did a live one night. We were discussing this when this first came out as well, that this was one of the residences with the camera where they captured the vehicle. We were under the assumption that they could have had cameras on these light posts. I believe now that we were wrong. I believe that these cameras were actually in this residence somewhere, maybe in somebody's window, maybe even on the exterior somewhere that you can't see on Google Maps. Because we looked around that place up and down, and we even thought they might have been on the light post, but who knows? But you're going to see an awesome shot here in a minute.
That's how they were able to determine that it was a 2014 to 2016 vehicle. You'll see the headlights coming down here in a moment and curving right here. So you can see it in the background there. I'm not sure why my phone keeps beeping over and over again.
I see it right there.
And then look at this shot right here. Watch this. Look at that.
That's a clear shot.
I mean, it's incredible. And he's driving around, and this is his final.
Look at that shot. Look at that shot, everybody. Chat, can you tell me, spell it out in all caps. What color is this vehicle to you? And do you believe, without a reasonable doubt, that this is Brian Koberger driving this vehicle? I want to know from you, chat, because I can say it all day long. And people just going to say, well, he's just a hater. He's a guilty. He's this, blah, blah, blah. He's been thinking this since day one. But you know what? Huh. There you have it. There you have it. It's not green. It's not green. I don't give a shit what color you call it. It's not green. Everybody that said it's green, you crashed out. You crashed out. You hit so hard, your wheels are still spinning. That is not a green car. You crashed out. And you can't do anything to save yourself or salvage that stupidity that you pushed on so many freaking people. I've always said it's white. Did I play it safe? Call it what you will. But you know what? Winners recognize winning. That's all I got to say.
Approach into
Look at that.
the complex
That's not a white car?
where
That looks like a Elantra. No, it looks like a Solantra to me.
and he's driving around, and this is his
Right there. Look at that.
final.
It doesn't get clearer than that. Chat. I know I'm talking shit right now, but do you really see what I see, or am I delusional? Did I drink too much soda tonight? Am I sugar high or what? You know, this is white. This is not cream colored. This is not even brown. This is not a tan sedan. It's white. And we know that this fool was driving it
Approach into the
because he has such a level. It's almost like he drives like he walks. Check this out.
I mean, it's incredible. And he's driving around, and this is his final.
See how he drives? He drives like he walks. It's almost at a slow pace. Because at 401, we do recognize that he doesn't get back to Queen Road until what time? Almost 405. Then he does a 3-point turn, 407. He rounds it for the last time. So he's still wasting time. And he's driving slow. And he doesn't even realize he's been captured on all these cameras. All these cameras captured his white. He would have been better off if it would have been a blue one, Andy. He would have been better off if it was a blue Elantra. At least you could have said, well, what are the odds of a blue Elantra driving around that late at night? This is sticking out. Look at that dark ass area. And this car sticks out like a ghost. It's almost like saying, look, I'm here. Hey, I'm here. Check me out. But you don't see a thing. Not really me. This is a hologram.
Approach into the complex where he goes in and he kind of does the 3-point turn a couple different times and then parks and goes in and commits the homicides. And then
That's
this
a hell
is
of a
later.
camera.
So after the homicides, he drives that long route home. You see in the probable cause. This is when he's heading back into Pullman. And he drives by right here. I think this is Johnson Avenue.
Yeah, I've seen this one before already. This shot.
And you see him right here. Here's the vehicle driving by. And then it's picked up on a gas station camera just over around that corner. So you can even see it. See right back in the upper right-hand corner.
Oh, no. Oh, no. This
Just over
right there. Well,
around the
blurry. Right there looks like a Cadillac. But that is his vehicle. That is his vehicle. It looks like a Pimp Daddy Cadillac right there at that point. So he's morphed his Elantra into a Cadillac DeVille, a big old long pimp daddy Cadillac DeVille. Maybe they won't notice it. Maybe they won't catch it. As he morphed through this camera, his car morphed into a Cadillac
It's
DeVille.
picked up on a gas station camera
Bam! That's where
just
Lincoln-
over around the corner.
There
You can
you
even
go.
see it. See right back in the upper right hand corner? That camera picks him up. And you can see it. See way back in the upper right, it's driving, turning, and it's about to turn right and then go on.
See, I like this shot right here because this shows you the front of the car like no other. It shows you this is, I guess, that he's getting back into town because I always thought this was the freaking where he was about to hit on White Road on White at 95. This was the car wash and these were the freaking pumps, but I don't know. I didn't think there was that many houses on that side, but I could be wrong.
The Johnson Avenue. And this one is amazing because this shot here shows that it's missing a plate again. Watch this.
Yeah.
Look at that. I mean, that's when you zoom in on that, you can really see that it does not have a
Right there. So the person that questioned me in my post earlier, there's your fucking receipt. I hope you're listening because there's your fucking receipt. You asked for a receipt because you always have to have definitive in order to believe anything, and you still don't believe it once people show you. Because right here, I'm showing you, as well as Gray is showing you, this vehicle does not have a front license plate. But you're going to say that is not the same car. How could that be the same car? Because we don't know if that car followed that same route that people were saying that it did. That's an easy cop out. You don't want to believe anything. You don't want to believe anything. But they always want receipts, but they never prove a damn thing. All they have is their emotional connection to it, and that equals their receipt. Well, I believe this. In my opinion, that's my fucking receipt right there. You're full of shit, what you are. You know? But that's a money shot right there. That is the money shot. Do y'all agree in the chat? Do y'all agree? Is that the money shot or is it not? You said that's the Sunset Mart implement. Okay. So he is on his way back home. Which one in that bumper to bumper traffic? You're right. That's the money shot. That is the money shot. They had him dead to rights showing his car with no license plate. Nice catch on those videos. Well, Gray Hughes did it, you know. He's the one that's showing this, and I'm giving him the credit because he's the one that slowed it down, and he actually zooms in on this one. Let me show
front
you.
plate. So now we see a minimum of 2 times
See,
where
that's a better shot right there. There's not a license plate. There's not a dented ass license plate. This car is not white. It is not a brown sedan. This is an Elantra.
it does not have a front license plate.
Mhm.
And that would really indicate that, yes, that would, a trial, it would have been, see, that's the same white Elantra. His cell phone matches it moving here. It does not have a front license plate, and that matches the vehicle that was came in, and we tracked it to the crime scene.
So you call this circumstantial evidence. You say it's not valid. It's not valuable. You say if there would have been a trial, none of this stuff would have added up to showing that that's Kohberger. Well, I'm going to tell you, if you really understand circumstantial evidence, you understand how it all correlates together. It's adding piece by piece. And people have said, well, they lost him in the cameras throughout the neighborhood. No, they didn't. Okay, this camera captures you. You're going through the wooded area. It's seeing your lights going around there. Then another one captures you. And then you get into a clear area like this, and this captured you from head on. We got to see this vehicle on White Road. I think White and 95, if I'm thinking correctly. But we got to see the side of it. in the back of it as it was turning. We didn't get the front view like this. And I think that's a money shot right here. This is a money shot. And this is the most awesome part of it all.
Yeah, it's
there-
pretty amazing.
So there it goes. And there's one more piece of surveillance here. And this is that same gas station that's going to drive by right there on the right. And amazingly, you can see this. Now watch. See that green light in the upper right-hand corner? That was green, but that's actually for the highway. So he's pulling up to a red light, but then it switches right on him here. So his light's going to turn green. And I think you can literally see his vehicle. See the lights go through that intersection right there. The headlights are turning, and then it goes around. That's amazing. I mean, you can see the entire thing, and then that's what heads to, going back into campus where he lives.
Mhm.
So there you go.
Oh my God.
So
It's daytime. Look at that fucking car right there. Look at that car. Look at that car. It's daytime. I told everybody in my videos. I said he came back from 9 to 9:21. 9 to 9:21 in the daytime. There was going to be cameras that captured this man in the daytime. I'm not sure if this is one, but I know that this is his vehicle. Look at that car. Look at that car. That one's yellow. Okay, I'll let you make it. I'll let you make it, Andy. And look, it's not green and it doesn't have a sunroof. Holy smokes. Holy smokes. Another money shot.
at trial, I think they had this all chopped up, ready to go. So at trial, I
I
think.
want to see that
Thing, and then that's what heads to. So there you go.
So at trial,
Look at that. There's no mistaking. You can almost see his ass in that driver's seat. God. Good grief. I'm beside myself right now. I really am. I really am. Wow. Not that I had any doubt. And I like what Chloe said right here. That's right, 12. People also forget all jurors are given an instruction that says circumstantial evidence is to be weighted no differently than direct. Yeah, there's no bug shield. No bug shield at all. But you know what? It's easier to make this Elantra not be his because you can't see inside of it. So if you're questioning everything, as people always said, you got to question everything. Okay, if you're questioning everything, do you ever get to an answer? Do you ever get to an answer? Because if you never get to an answer, you're just chasing your tail and you're never getting anywhere. All you're doing is hailing for the king, but you're not even understanding what you're chanting for. So there is inmate Kohberger's vehicle right there. Do you believe that do you think he actually thought that any of these cameras got him on camera? Yeah, it's white. I'm asking you in the chat. Do you think that he was so arrogant that he said, you know what, if they get me on camera, they get me? Or do you think he thought they're not going to figure it out? They didn't see my car. Nobody saw me. I want your understanding on this, though. I really do. Because I'm really tired of the narrative about him being a brilliant criminal justice major and all this other shit. If he was so fucking brilliant, he would be free right now. And that is the point that everybody has to understand. If he was brilliant and a genius and all this other shit that people put on him, the man would not be in prison at this moment. Honestly. Honestly. Because he made so many freaking mistakes. And this car, I believe, was even more detrimental to his case than anything else. I mean, the DNA on the knife sheath, slam dunk, okay? But if you're gonna, how are you gonna explain you drive a white Elantra, you left your house at this point, your phone goes, it shuts off at this point. You have no viable alibi as to where you were for those 2 hours. How are you going to explain to the jury, to make it make sense to them, that you were out stargazing while we see your vehicle all over Moscow? All over. There's cameras tying you at every turn. It's almost like they were flying a drone above your car as you're driving along these routes. I mean, if Gray Hughes can follow you on a map, what can the FBI do? What can the FBI do? What can ISP do? You know what I'm saying? So he's not brilliant. He wasn't a genius. He's not a math. He's not a one of those to be put up there on that pedestal. And they didn't get lucky when they caught him. To catch that man that quick, that said they knew a lot very quickly. These cameras helped keep this person. I knew that whenever I heard that he went back to the house from 9 to 9:21, or it was 12 minutes or 21 minutes. So whatever 9, whatever to whatever 21 minutes after that, it was 21 minutes. Whenever he went back to the house during the day, before he went to Clarkston and Lewiston and all that bullshit we just saw, I knew that somewhere, somehow, he had to be captured on a camera during the day. It's only logical to think that the man would have been caught on a camera, especially if he went the same damn route that he went hours before. So you're telling me he went home, made it home at 5:30 something in the morning, went back out 9 o'clock to 9:21. Which route did he take? You're telling me he went back south and all the way around like that? There's not enough time. The man went straight. And I'm telling you, all these cameras caught him on camera. I don't know if they have them or they're going to release them. You know? But these daytime cameras would tell a lot more than those nighttime cameras, because you know what? With these daytime cameras, you can't argue the fact. Those lights are too bright. You can't see shit. They're superimposing that. The front lights are too bright. You can't see anything. This car doesn't have a fin. That's not his vehicle. Okay.
I think they.
Do you see how fast he drove by there, though? I want to see it one more time.
Going back into campus where he lives.
Mhm.
So there you go.
So at
It does have a fin. You could see it better right here, but I had to pause it, so it kind of superimposes everything. I was trying to see if you could see into. If you screenshot this for yourself, you can zoom in, and maybe you can see if it's actually him driving. I mean, it looks like he's wearing the same freaking shirt. It looks like a bright colored shirt. I would bet almost anything that if you zoom in and you see this, you're going to be able to see what color shirt he's wearing. If he's wearing that light colored shirt or that green shirt still, he's cooked, bro. You have no leg to stand on. Let's keep going.
Trial, I think they had this all chopped up, ready to go. This is what they were going to lay out for the jury. They were going to have somebody testify to this and show the cell phone stuff along with the car.
Oh yeah, yeah. They would have put this all together. I think that's why it's so devastating. It's like they track him come into town, a vehicle, a white Elantra missing a front license plate that you see on the A&W. Then sequential cameras pick it up, and then you see it go into the complex, and they keep tracking the vehicle around.
Mhm.
And then,
God, that's a money shot right there. That's a money shot. Can you imagine the joy of the law enforcement when they saw these camera images and they're like, we got him. We got him. There he is right there. So if they caught your car during the day going by this gas station, they would have also caught your car leaving your apartment in the daylight. So it would have seen your vehicle passing all these other cameras that you passed earlier on the way home, that you weren't able to see your car that good. So leaving your car around 8:45 to head to Moscow, to get there by 9, think of all the cameras that saw your ass on the way back to Moscow. Wow. But that's brilliance for a lot of people. I'm going to take a screenshot of this just so I can zoom in to see for my own self. I know I'm not everybody's cup of tea, but, you know, if you like me, you like me. If you don't, you don't. And I'm trying to remember how to do the freaking screenshot thing. It's Control Shift S. Oh, Control Window S. That ain't it either. Anyway, I won't keep y'all waiting. I'll do it on my own time. Here we go.
the homicides, you know, the white Elantra actually parks at about 4:08, and then between 4:08 and 4:20, I think it's more like 4:13 to 4:18, is when he goes into the house and he kills all 4 victims. Then he, exits at, let's just say 4:18, he's exiting the house, and by 4:20 and 47 seconds, he's leaving at a high rate of speed. And then he turns his phone on near Blaine, and they track his cell phone, and then that matches up with the white Elantra as it's pulling back into Pullman, and it's also missing the front plate again. So, I mean, then his DNA is found on the knife sheath that was on Madison Mogen's bed
Yeah,
with Kaylee Gonzalez. So it's just
very, very damning.
I mean, he had no shot. That's why his attorney probably said, "You're probably going to get the death penalty here." It would just depend on one holdout or something on the jury, maybe not giving it to him.
Well, Gray, we appreciate you coming on and walking us through that video. As always, I appreciate it.
Well, thanks for having me.
And these are just some of the videos that Moscow police have released. There could be many more coming out.
I hope there is. I want to see a lot more. I want to say something before I play this next one, okay? It's the interview with Hunter Johnson. I'm not going to play the Dylan Mortensen one because it is a follow-up interview, and people were all over that interview like that was going to be the interview that they could pick apart and really show that she was stumbling over her words and everything else, and how it's going to implicate her and all this other stuff. And they were pissed off because it was a 5-minute video. Now I can't find it, but here it is. Jay for Justice, I'm going to give you credit for this because I can't find the other one. But one thing I want people to understand, when these people are interviewed, it is not an interrogation. Learn the freaking difference. If you don't learn anything from my channel, learn the difference between an interview and an interrogation. They're two different things, two different meanings, and they're not the one and the same, and they're not interchangeable. An interview means that you are gathering evidence. That you're gathering evidence from witnesses, from people that are bystanders, somebody who saw something, somebody was around the time of the crime. The interrogation means that you have a suspect and you're trying to get information from them that lead them to possibly either a confession or gaining evidence that you already don't have or do have. So learn the difference. So Hunter is being interviewed. Dylan is being interviewed. That means that these officers are not obligated by no means to ask those hard questions. So when you say, well, why is he saying this? Or why is he focusing on that? It's because he's interviewing and trying to get a structured understanding of this individual and what they know. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less. So if you don't understand the difference, quit misinterpreting and misinformation to all your people about they should have done this or why they didn't ask that. Well, there's a reason, because there's a protocol to the procedure whenever you're asking these questions. A lot of you don't realize that. A lot of you don't understand it. And a lot of you don't know it. And even more, don't give a shit one way or the other. But you always want to paint the picture that these witnesses that are being interviewed were somehow involved. And the cops were involved because they didn't dig in their ass to get the answer that you want to hear. And that's the bottom line. So let's listen to what Hunter had to say. Like I always say, too, interview rooms are the awfulest place to get an interview because there's always some kind of whirring sound. It echoes because there's not enough stuff in there. So it's bouncing off the walls. So let's see what this interview has to say. Once again, thank you for Jay for Justice for providing this. It was a quick find. So thank you for that, Jay.
So what's your first name? And what's your middle initial now? And what's a good phone number for you? And what's a good address for you? Okay. So you do not live at the house, right?
No.
Okay. So what do you got for me? What do you know?
It was like right around noon, maybe just before then, and called my girlfriend that she thought something was not right in her house, and she heard and saw a man in their house last night, and she wanted us to come over.
So that little bit right there, we've heard that 100 times at least or more. It's consistent. So if you're doing an interview, you're thinking to yourself, okay, this is what was told by two other people. They told the same story. So they're not collaborating something nefarious. He is basically just relaying what information he has regarding this crime.
like make everything was okay because they just locked themselves in I think is what they said. And so I was the first one to get over there. I left pretty quickly because I just wanted to make sure, and I got over there and walked up the stairs, and I immediately went into Xana's room, which was the only room I went into. I went up the stairs, saw them. Were pretty uncontrollably crying and didn't know what was going on.
Sure.
And I told them,
So those of you that wonder why that was redacted, did you see the movement he made with his arm about describing what he saw? They're trying to protect the families from the gore of this interview. So to make it nefarious, get over yourself. He saw something that nobody in this world should have to see. And in no way, no how is he protecting a fucking soul. The man is in prison. He admitted it. Get over yourselves.
to get out of the house and call the cops. And I went to the kitchen and grabbed a knife from the drawer because I didn't know if someone was still in the house or not. And I grabbed the knife. It's probably still on the little table they have in the living room area.
Downstairs.
Like in the middle, like where the kitchen level, that level.
There's like a little area there.
Yeah, there's an area.
So we've read all this in documents. We've read what went on. We've seen body cam footage. We've seen all this stuff. So if you can't be smart enough to put all these pieces together and you still say it doesn't make sense, what are they hiding? What didn't they show you? You don't understand any of this. Honestly, you shouldn't be opining on it. Because if you cannot put these pieces together by everything that we have at this point, you're incapable of putting a puzzle together. You have no mental capacity to work a word puzzle, a puzzle, any kind of thing that needs bits and pieces. And once people give you the pieces or give you the words, you still can't do it. Don't ever go on Wheel of Fortune. You'd suck at it.
I put the knife there after, but I grabbed the knife and I went into the room and I checked like the closet and everything to make sure there was no one in there, and it didn't seem like anyone was in there. And then I
And if you really read the documents, I'm sure you'd see exactly what this redaction is, or you have a general understanding of what they were talking about at this point. You wouldn't have to question it as if he's relaying some secret code to the officer during this redaction that makes it less of a gruesome crime than what he saw.
Okay.
and shoot, I'm forgetting his name. Sorry, this is just a lot. What's his name? That's his name. They all came into the house. They were coming up the stairs, and I told them, get out. They do not want to come in. They need to get out. And that's when you guys roughly showed up around the scene, was when I told them to get out.
Yeah, okay.
And then one of the policemen came and I showed him where I saw them, and he just said, stay where you're at. And I said, okay. And I didn't know if there were any more people upstairs. I didn't go up there.
Okay.
The cops came as soon as.
What, did you go to the party last night?
No.
Okay.
I was talking with Ethan I have texts from him most of the night. We were talking because he wanted me to come, and I didn't really want to walk all the way over there.
You know, another thing I've heard is Dylan was so composed. She didn't seem upset at all. Hunter is so composed. How could they be talking about that viciousness being so so composed? We just want the truth. What are they lying about? What are they holding back? They're not holding anything back. Nothing anybody says is good enough for you. And with that mindset, you never take accountability for reality. You live in a fictional world. Which, if that's what you do, that's what you do. This man has seen something that most people never have to experience in their lifetime. And he's telling this officer exactly what he saw. The same thing with Dylan. And they're calm. Do you think that they want to actually not help the police capture who murdered their friends in the middle of the night? Do you not understand the strength that it takes to compose yourself enough to recall what was said, how it was said, who you saw, who you didn't see, what you heard, what you didn't hear, what all the questions that are asked of you? Strength is what they're displaying. There's nothing nefarious about it. They're going to do what they got to do for their friends, and they're going to go cry once they've helped the police. That's what normal people do. They stand up when they got to be strong and crash when they need to be weak. Not everybody cries all day long when they lose somebody.
Yeah,
The text messages, were they just through Messenger or they through?
just normal message, iMessage or whatever.
You got your phone on you?
No, I can go grab it though.
Where is it? Is it
It's just in there.
I'll do that in just a sec. So how do you know Ethan?
I met him during Rush in college. It's where you like try to go into a house.
Is Ethan part of a
Yeah,
fraternity?
he's
He is. Okay.
yeah. And I met him there and during Rush, and I've known him ever since the fall of last year.
Are you in a fraternity now?
I'm a grad student. I don't live in the house anymore, but I was in.
Okay. Is that what they call whatever it was?
Or that's a sorority.
That's a different one.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know any of these names.
It's totally okay.
Okay. So your girlfriend,
Yep.
right? So she gets a call from
Mm-hmm.
around noonish.
Yep.
Basically says that there was somebody in the house. She tells you, so you head over to the place.
Yeah, it was on speaker.
So he is not telling him what to say. He is repeating what Ethan, or God, I always call him Ethan, Hunter has already said to him. He's clarifying. So that he doesn't misinterpret anything that he said to him. That's what he's doing. He's not leading him into saying anything else or feeding him a narrative or anything like that, no matter what you want to think.
So me all heard it, and
Okay.
we all kind of got up and we're gonna go check on him.
The same sorority? Is that how they know each other?
Yeah, they're also roommates.
Okay. And where does I mean, is he
He's
just
in a different. He's in a fraternity, but he is like seeing right now. So
Okay.
he was just staying. He stayed the night over at their apartment. I stayed there, and she stayed there. So I was in her room, and he was in her room.
okay? What time? So I'm trying to figure out who's who now. did not go to the party last night, right?
No.
That was the one I'm thinking of. There was another vowel name there that I was getting up. Okay, so you and Aaron didn't go to the party.
No. No.
You guys just hung out.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. And then other than you walked up the stairs and
When I walked into the house and like entered the code to get into the house, they were in, which is on the very bottom floor, like right next to the main.
to the front, right?
Yeah. And they heard me come in and they like were like, oh my god, and I was like, it's just what's going on.
Okay.
And that's when I walked upstairs and they're like, we don't know what's going on. I checked it out. And,
How did you get the code to the door?
we just know it because we're all friends.
Okay. When was the last time that you were over at?
The last time before today was yesterday.
And what were you doing over there yesterday?
We were pre-gaming the football game for the families.
Gotcha. Was anybody there?
No, she was at work at the football game.
What time did you get to the house and you guys left at game time to get them?
What time did we get there?
Yeah.
I would say it was roughly either noon or 1.
Okay.
Like somewhere around there.
And what time did you guys leave?
We left their house and went to a different apartment at the White's at, I would say roughly like 2:30.
So think about this a minute. Most of you, if you were to be interrogated about what happened the last couple of days of your life, and you were put on the spot, many people would not be as accurate as this young man is after seeing his best friends murdered. Think about what you did yesterday. Somebody asked you, okay, well, so you walked into your home. About what time did you walk in? You got to think a minute, like, okay, what time did I walk in? So what did you have for lunch? What time did you leave your house in the morning? So, you know, it's a miracle this man can recall as much as he's able to recall, because most of us cannot recall most of what we did on the spot without having to think about it longer than he's having to think about his. And that's one of the reasons he's asking him random questions, is because he's wanting to see if there's an inconsistency in what he's saying. And he will go back to these questions once again.
Okay.
And then everyone left and there was no one there.
Okay.
We all left together.
So last time you were there was 2:30.
Mm-hmm.
When was the last time I was there?
The night before.
Okay.
Like the night before yesterday.
So that would be what, Friday night?
Yes, Friday night.
Okay. So you walk in the door, and they are in the bedroom down the first floor.
Yep.
Obviously, they're kind of freaked out. You see them.
Mm-hmm.
You head upstairs,
Yep.
hit that open area with the kitchen and all that stuff is.
Yeah, like where the couches are. I walk in and then I look into Sam's room because the door was like somewhat open.
Okay.
And then I like opened it, and then I saw that and I told them to get out and call the cops.
Okay.
Because it seemed because I didn't know what I was seeing, the.
If you wonder why he said he didn't know what he was seeing, how many of you have ever been in shock? I'm not talking about frozen shock phase. I'm talking about in shock. Have you ever seen something that your brain just could not comprehend and say, am I really looking at what I think I'm looking at? You know, I'm so thankful I've never walked in on a dead body or anything like that. The only dead people I've seen, obviously, are in the casket right after they passed or whatever. That's not the same thing as walking in on somebody who just died hours earlier. So you walk in, your mind is playing tricks on you because unconsciously your brain is trying to protect you from the trauma. So you're looking at this and you're still asking yourself, am I really seeing what I think I'm seeing? It's kind of like looking at somebody in a casket. If you're not really accepting that they're gone, you look at them long enough, you can almost see their chest rising and falling. I don't know if you've ever seen something like that, but you know, you have to ask yourself, in a traumatic event, this individual is able to keep it all together. And he's explaining it right now.
And then I told him to
Get out.
get out.
Right.
Yeah.
Anybody that you know that has it out or has a problem with even Ethan and Xana? How long have they been dating? Do you know? Has it been a minute?
Yeah, they've been dating for a little bit.
Okay.
I want to say they were dating for like, I would say 8 months,
Okay.
probably.
No problem with Xana's ex or with Ethan have an ex?
He did, but she doesn't go here.
Okay, so maybe not anymore. Okay.
I don't know anyone who would have it out for.
How well did you know Xana and, or not Xana, sorry, Maddie and Kaylee?
I knew Xana very well just because we were all friends.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we were all friends together, and I've been friends with Xana for a long time. Maddie, I like could be acquaintances with. I didn't really know her that well. I just saw her at her house every once in a while. I would say hi and have conversations with her.
Okay.
But I didn't really know her super well like I knew Ethan and Xana.
Right.
And then Kylie, I didn't know really at all.
Okay. You weren't around to see anything, that's no big deal. Nothing on social media, nothing's been posted, nothing going on around there.
I don't think so.
Okay. I'm gonna go grab my phone, not my phone, my camera.
Mm-hmm.
If I need to grab your phone, so I can grab some pictures of those. There's two ones. I'll be right there.
Okay. This was the last text from yesterday. He sent this picture to me, and then I asked if you guys were still like, and he said, "Yep, where you at?"
Okay.
This was
Can I go back a little bit?
Sure.
Go with that? That's the afternoon. So that's him trying to get you to go to the party? Or is that him getting you?
This part right here was to go to the pregame at Santa in their house.
Gotcha.
This was the pregame, and then this was, I was asking about that party that night.
Right. And I'm just gonna grab it.
And his contact info.
Yeah. Okay. Anything else you can think of? Anything that maybe talking about over the last couple of weeks that maybe been bothering them, or?
No, I can't think of anything, honestly.
Okay. Who else? I don't know anybody out there, so it's kind of weird for me to say, hey, I'll just take the next number, survey number 4 now, whatever it is. 'Cause it's
Mhm.
kind of gay. Who else out there should I talk to sooner than others that they can get maybe them on their way and going to their,
You already talked to, right? I'm pretty sure someone already talked to
I think
her.
so.
And then
And I know many people are going to say, well, why didn't he take his cell phone? Why didn't he take downloads of his phone? Once again, for those peanut gallery in the back, he's not a suspect. He wasn't in the home at the time of the murder. So there's no need to download his phone. He has the right to not allow them to do that. He's not detained. He's not a suspect, person of interest, none of that. The only reason the other two had theirs downloaded was because they were in the residence at the time of the murders. And they wanted to know exactly what they heard, what they saw, and what they were texting each other to gather a timeline. So I know that's going to probably be brought up. So there's the answer to that.
I already talked to.
I talked to Dylan.
There's the our Ethan's twins.
Okay. And what was the other one? So we have 2. Okay.
Didn't go into the house.
Okay.
I don't think he would be much help, but you could talk to him if you wanted.
Okay.
Also didn't go into the house really. Like I told them to get out as soon as they got in. Was walking up the stairs when I told her to get out. I'm the only one that I know saw anything.
Okay.
Like at least
Right.
I don't think them saw it because they were too scared to like go check it out.
Okay. Okay. And I will see if I can talk to them. Or both.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Obviously, if there's anything that comes up, pops up, with it's kind of an event like this that's traumatic, a lot of times things will just kind of get tossed around or whatever. So if something pops up later on down the road, obviously give us a call, give us a shout. Regardless of what it is, sometimes you'll just be staring at some french fries and something will come back in.
Okay.
Or obviously if you hear something pops up on social media, then call the department and let us know.
Okay.
Cool.
Yep.
Anything else I need to know?
I don't think so. Yeah.
So his interview was 16 minutes and 7 seconds. Dylan was supposedly 5 minutes. But you have to understand as well, they interviewed Dylan 4 other times. 4 other times. So you don't know how many times she would ask those questions that she would ask in different variations, different people asking her different realms of the question. So to see a 5-minute interview on Dylan doesn't mean anything. Because like many people say, have you read the documents, 12? It's in the documents. Read the documents. Okay, well, if y'all fucking read the documents and understood logic, you would understand that the reason that you only got a 5-minute video is because that was a partial. And you would understand that the wording that she said in that one has already been spoken on one of those documents that you claim that you read. But obviously you don't. So, practice what you preach. If you want others to read the documents because you claim to be an expert, just because you read the documents, but don't know the difference between an interview and an interrogation, how can I take you serious? Yeah, Jeff, be careful out there, bro. Be careful out there. And you know, we've been vindicated, Jeff. You and I, our hard work on the Elantra stuff. I'm a happy man tonight because there's some actual good footage of that white Elantra. And vindication is good. Does it mean that I solved the case? No, it doesn't. But it means that whatever I was working on with other people on my panel, that it wasn't all in vain and we were closer to what actually happened than what didn't happen. Like, you know, the spaceship that came down and abducted Murphy and replaced him with another Murphy that was barking louder than Murphy, you know, stuff like that. But, anyways, I hope you like what I have to say, what I do on this channel. You know, hopefully this case eventually ends and people actually start picking up other cases that they enjoy. Because I do other things. I have other cases in my channel, the library, that feel free to go jump in at. Go free to look at the Idaho stuff. There's plenty of it. Plenty of it. But try to understand the differences in the lingo and get the understanding for yourself, not from Google, not from ChatGPT, but actually go read a book that has to do with criminal justice or criminology and really understand what you're reading so that when people talk nonsense, you don't just carry along with them, because once they fall on their face and look foolish, you're the one with the pie on your face too. So, you know, are y'all talking about the Austin yogurt shop murders? Is that what you're talking about? The TCBY murders? Because I did a live on that a long time ago. I thought they got the people from that. It's not just serious. It dropped dead serious. I'll have to look into that. I was at a football game tonight. I have no clue what's been going on. And most of the day I didn't do very much on YouTube either. Um, I'll have to check that out. I'll do an update on it if I get enough time. I got a bunch of stuff to do this weekend. Then I'm going to another training next week. And that should be the last one for a while. And then I get my badge. And I get my certification. And I'm legit. I'm legit. Front line. I already have 2 clients. The teenage boys are innocent. Yeah, but there was like a weird man or something like that. There was these men that were implicated in the murders. I think they went out of business, Jeremiah. But I will do some deep diving. It might be a little bit before I can get on that case. But I hope that y'all continue to show up to the channel, even though we don't talk about Idaho all the time. Thank you so much for your support, and thank you for the kind words that you have to say. And if the cussing and the bluntness offends you, like I say in my intros to all my videos, this is an adult channel. And if it offends you, if cussing and all that offends you, and it makes me less of a Christian in your eyes, then I don't know what to tell you. But I'm going to close it out on that retrospect. Maestro, cue that music.